think it's kind of exciting that you have a brand new asset class.
And this is a key point, Mr. President. For those people out there who have not been following it as closely, can you explain to those people why it was critical for the United States to go into Iran? Can you articulate what was behind that move that was so important for the U.S. to go into Iran?
Yeah, so easy. The easiest question you've asked me so far. They can't have nuclear weapons. They have nuclear. They want to enrich what they have. They want to enrich more. As you know, we knocked out with the B-2 bombers. Had we not knocked that out, they would have had a nuclear weapon within 1 month after we knocked out. In other words, had the B-2s, those beautiful B-2 bombers, totally obliterated their 3 sites. They have 3 sites. And they are now deep in the earth with, tons of rock. Now, that material should be gotten, but we have cameras on it. We have satellites with Space Force. That was one of my beauties, Space Force. So important. But we're watching those. We're watching every single aspect of that area. They can't move without us knowing exactly what's going on. But it's deep down, and it takes a long time to get it out. It's an amazing attack. Had we not done that, they would have had, within 1 month from that date, they would have had a nuclear weapon.
Right.
If they had a nuclear weapon, they would have used it on Israel and the Middle East. Look, they went after 5 countries that were sort of neutral, I guess. I don't know how friendly they were, but they weren't in the line of attack. They dropped on UAE probably 1,800 missiles.
It's kind of scary. This is Digital Asset Guy. Thank you for tuning in. Something that I thought was interesting years ago, I believe it was in one of the State of the Union addresses when Trump first got in after when he first got elected, and he said, I remember it clear as crystal. He kind of shocked everyone in the State of the Union. He said, had I not been elected president, the United States would be in a serious nuclear war with Iran, in my opinion. And I remember that just kind of being a surprise to me. And now I cannot find the footage. Let me see if ChatGPT can. Let me see. Can you please help me find a video of President Trump in one of his State of the Union addresses in his first term where he said the U.S. would be in a serious nuclear war with Iran if he had not been elected president, and he said, in my opinion, at the end?
I couldn't find a verified... I couldn't find any verified clip of Trump saying the U.S. would be in a nuclear war with Iran if he hadn't been elected.
Okay, that is BS because I remember it, and I talked to some other people about it. If you remember it, put it in the comments below. But there's a bunch of people out here saying, I don't think, we shouldn't be over there, and Trump doesn't know what he's doing, and this and that. I'm like, how do you know better than the big dogs who are in the know, and why would he do this before midterms if he didn't need to, or if he didn't know that he was probably going to win? I mean, it sounds like we're going to win, but we were all Bitcoin experts in 2017, and then we were all doctors and medical experts in 2020, and then Then all of a sudden we were, what kind of experts were we? Then we were tariff experts when Trump got back in. And then now we're all military experts. And when the Clarity Act is signed and all of this goes off and the next crypto bull run will have so much more momentum, everybody will be a crypto expert and everyone will be an XRP expert. I can't wait. So here's Digital Perspective shared this. President Trump posted on Truth Social, world's most powerful reset. World's most powerful reset. President Donald J. Trump. You got to wonder what that means. I mean, we've been showing on this channel and plenty of others Been talking about the Great Reset. I don't know if I'm in the camp that it's some big giant flip that's going to be switched, but change is coming. And all that I know is when this change happens, or as it's continuing to happen, all I know is I would not want to be sitting in only fiat currency with, and especially with a whole bunch of fiat currency debt. So here is I Trust Capital, the digital asset guy's favorite place to buy, sell, and hold cryptocurrencies and precious metals, whether that's in an IRA. They've got a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, or a SEP IRA. I love the Roth IRA, best thing I ever did. Thanks to Digital Asset Investor and Brad Kimes getting me hip to it in the beginning. And then if you don't want it in an IRA, you can have it in a premium custody account where you just pay a 1% trading fee and you get institutional grade custody. In my opinion, first of all, nothing that I say in these videos is financial or investment advice, just my own personal thoughts, opinions, feelings, philosophies, things like that, only for entertainment and educational purposes only. But yeah, I would not want to be sitting in dollars during this. I mean, the dollar's losing to inflation every day, but I think there's going to be changes coming. Let's see, Marco Rubio posted, I shared it the other day on X, where he said we're not going to have the old system or something. There will be so many different currencies. There won't be a world reserve currency or something like that. And then he said digital currency is the future. So it's, I don't think it's hard to tell what's going to happen. When people say, what do you think is going to happen exactly? I say, look, I don't know. I have a pretty good idea. But what I do know is it's going to be very, very complicated for people who have not done their research and haven't ever owned crypto. All they've ever done is trust the US dollar. We got Bitcoin at 71,000. Maybe we're getting back up out of this low range. Wouldn't surprise me if we came back down. Ethereum 2,200. XRP looking good at $1.33. My XRP is looking good right now because I bought it at $1.16. I re-entered the market. But if we get another pullback, I've still got some dry powder that I cannot wait to put in. But then if we start trending up and we get the Clarity Act or whatever that news is to get us out of this bear market, I'll be glad and I'll buy a little higher. Solana at $82. Got Cardano, very nice down here at 23 cents. Wouldn't surprise me, though, to see lower prices due to all of this Iran stuff and the uncertainty, but those are just opportunities, in my opinion. We got an H-bar at 8 cents. Let's see. Someone was complaining about World Liberty Finance was not doing well, and they were all upset, and I'm like, hey, this is the time to buy it. Let's take a look at this thing. Again, not financial or investment advice. Oh, this is the stable coin. Not financial or investment advice, just my own personal thoughts and opinions. Here's World Liberty Finance, the coin. Yeah, and it's up from where it was launched back here in 2025, a year ago. So that's what I would expect it to look like. It doesn't shock me, but I say when it goes down, that's just an opportunity. And then, let's see, we got all these Polygon, 8 cents, nice. Flare, there's a lot of people talking about it. I don't know all the ins and outs, but it's down there under a penny. And Trump coin, $2.79. See, yep, looks kind of like World Liberty Fi, but I don't think he made that thing for nothing. V-Chain looking good at less than 7/10 of a penny. All right, we got to move on. Got a lot of stuff to get to. So here, Digital Asset Investor reposted this and said, lock in. Here is the one and only Eleanor Terrett and her team with Crypto in America. They're so cool. and Patrick Witt from the White House, the crypto guy at the White House.
What can we expect from when Congress returns next week? If yield is wrapped up, there's still a few outstanding issues. Can those kind of realistically get ironed out in the next couple of weeks?
Rewards and yield was that issue that everyone knew had to be solved before the other issues could be addressed. Otherwise, you're kind of wasting effort on the other ones because we knew that rewards and yield, without that getting wrapped up, we were never going to make it to the other issues. So I think there's maybe on the part of certain Senate offices a realization, oh, wow, this rewards and yield issue that we didn't necessarily think would get resolved. Perhaps it looks like it is, and we better quickly engage on these other issues. So there is definitely a resuscitation of the other outstanding issues right now, and a lot of engagement, energy going back into those because people realize we need to quickly close those out if we're going to move this bill forward.
All right, very exciting. The Watcher Guru actually just posted the yield debate has been settled. A deal has been reached. Although we've heard this many times, people, I think the deal was done a long time ago, and this thing's just been dangled in front of us while we're in the bear market conveniently. So, all right, so what I've been up to lately is some hot new content. So, you all know how I like to talk about crypto dating, a topic that I think no one virtually is talking about, that I think is a very relevant topic right now, because getting into crypto and, you know, having my life change totally steamrolled by crypto, it has greatly affected my relationships, my romantic life, and people ask why. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to show people why. And I had a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, we had too much fun making this. I can't play the videos on here because I might get a copyright strike. But basically, in this one, I'm saying, hey, it's the digital asset guy. So we've got some hot new content for you. We're at a really nice town center, and I'm going to walk around and ask totally random people their thoughts about cryptocurrency, and I'm going to ask some of the females, would you date a guy that was completely 100% all in crypto? And a lot of the answers are really interesting. Should be a good time. So anyway, I have the song Smooth Operator playing in the background, so I can't play that for copyright reasons, but Crew Chief said I was a smooth operator when he watched some of these things. Here they are on my YouTube channel, the different shorts. Again, totally random people. I selected, the cameraman and me. A lot of the answers are very interesting, to say the least. Here, I'll show you one where I can show it because I decided to try one without any music. So, here you go. Enjoy. Would you date a guy if he had 100% of his net wealth in crypto?
No.
Why?
Old school.
Old school? Okay.
Yeah.
What if his...
Diversify your portfolio.
Why? In what?
Some of it in crypto, right?
What if his crypto is up like 10,000% since 2015? What are you going to go into that's had more gains than crypto? 0 to 4 trillion in 15 years.
Good question.
The S&P 500.
It hasn't went that much percentage gain in the last 15 years.
100% of your money in crypto, that's just not smart.
Why? It's working well for me. Oh, well, what do you guys invest in?
I pay someone to do that for me.
Yeah. Okay.
S&P 500, 401.
I'm so much better than you. I pay someone to do it for me. Okay.
S&P 500, 401k.
So anyway, they couldn't really tell me what I should be diversified in, but this whole argument. Everyone says, you need to be in real estate. Your house could double. I'm like, I was buying Ethereum at $20 a coin in 2016. It's up tens of thousands of percent. Why would I care about doubling my money? Why would I want to go in debt? Because I'm probably not going to buy it in cash. Might be able to, but you're probably going to use a mortgage, get in debt in a deflating currency to buy an asset that doesn't make me any money, that only costs me money, because it might double. When I'm sitting here with crypto that's up tens of thousands of percent, it's just so funny. And I'm not doing these to make people like feel bad or stupid or anything, but they agree to do the interviews, and then it's just so funny because they don't really know anything about crypto, but they want to judge it. But here is a really good episode where they really didn't know much about crypto. I said, would you date a guy who was all in crypto? And this other girl over here said, I don't know enough about it. And then this girl in the hot pink shorts said, yes, I would. And you can go and watch it over here. We got some really interesting answers, so much more content to post. But then this gal, this was an interesting sit-down interview that we talked about before we did it. And her answers about her and her fiance, and would he still be your fiance if he was 100% in crypto? She says no, and I say like, oh, but isn't it supposed to not matter? And she's like, no, it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. And she like changes her mind, and I'm like, what do you invest in? And she's like, me. And it's just kind of funny. Then the guy, this interview was interesting. You'll have to go and watch it, but his answer was totally different than most of the ladies. And then this boss lady right here, she acted like she knew who I was. I said, what do you think of when I say the word crypto? And she says, guys like you, and then gives me this smile. I mean, she was something else. I'm not sure who she was, but she had to go and get to some TV interview. But then I made a couple shorts about like the food I was eating down there. Still got a lot of other content to get to. Some super interesting answers coming up very soon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please watch, like, subscribe, and share these videos with anyone who you think would find them entertaining. And please comment below what your thoughts are, because I think some of these are kind of crazy, some of the answers I get. And it's all in good fun. It's all very entertaining. Thank you so much for watching. Digital Asset Guy out.